Hi guys, Alex Peak Performance Reviews. Welcome to another vlog, and probably going to be a fairly short one, but I always say that and then it ends up being really big. But I am here today with the Supra, and I've got to get the last final things done on it. One of them is the boost gauge to the car, a new Turbo Smart one, so I can kind of keep an eye on the boost pressure as I'm changing through the cow settings, which is a different tune settings, different map settings. Ready for a day out in it this coming Monday. I've got like basically a track day, but I'm not doing it. I'm just going for a bit of a social, going out with my nephew, who is Gianni from TalkSport, and he's going to go in his 600 horsepower turbo Civic, which he's done some extra bits to, and he just wants to give it a nice little drive out. Same, I haven't been out in this year really properly, so I'm going to go out and in that. But obviously I need to finish the boost gauge, and yeah, there's also a little minute fuel leak, so I'm going to try and do both of those today. But let's get into it. Let's get finishing the wiring on that boost gauge and get it fitted, get the panels back in the car, and go from there. It's not very good in here, but key things that we need: we've got a little wiring terminal connector, or crimp tool, shall I say. Got a voltage tester, and I'm going to use some existing wires from a loom. I don't know where they probably did go on stereo related parts. So there's one of those going to be power and ground, and that's all I need. There's two wires here to the boost gauge, which is just mock fitted there. And like I say, need to find those. I've got an additional earth, but just need a ground and a main. Gonna just make sure I check where these are coming, check where the power is and which is the ground, etc., and then get those interconnected somehow. I'm probably going to try and keep with bullet connectors like that we've got on those three that are displayed out there, and yeah, and then refit the dash. There you go. Really looks smart. I don't know if you can see. Gorgeous gauge that is, really clear, nice illumination on that. Yeah, red to red, black to yellow for our ground. Tested obviously with the wire testing, and yeah, let's give it a fire up and see what we get. Oh no, actually I've got to do fucking hell, I've got to splice into that and put the T into a vacuum line as well. So it comes with a T piece, obviously. You can see what way this goes in. There's a restriction on one side, which is side goes on the body, but I will just check the it does come with instructions. Pill in T piece, yes, it's almost like the little pill, almost like a little restriction piece is the one that goes into the main body. So just got to find a bit of vac line. It may provide it, I can't remember, but I've got loads of vac line. There you go. But look how the gauge looks really good in there. The only thing is, when I turn on the lights, it goes off. So I've obviously wired it to a source where it's on an ignition, but haven't thought about it being, wired to the lights. So it means I'm going to have to find a different feed that obviously is on the light switch. So I will do that another day. For now it's plumbed in and it's working. Put the dash back in, which means I can drive it. Still have got the fuel issue, haven't had time today. I have just run a half marathon, so I'm absolutely knackered and I just want to go home. It's one of them days. Yeah, this little bit has fought me a little bit today, but in general I'm kind of moving forward with it. It's just this time of year I don't always want to do too much work on it, because like I say, running lows, getting tired, making excuses now. But this is how it's getting here in the UK. I know if you've got somewhere that you live in, it's gorgeous all the time, then you won't appreciate it maybe as much as I do. But when you live in the UK, look at this, beautiful. And with that, basically, yeah, that is that. Like I say, I'm tired, I'm making excuses, but I have literally done a half marathon this morning, just a little running session for myself. Not a race or anything, but I'm knackered. I was going to jack the car up, get the fuel leakless happening on this side. It's coming from I know it's coming from the fuel filter. I think when I done it in a really small space of time in a lunch break, didn't have much time, and I think I hadn't done up just
some nuts, or I think the and fittings very well. I think I tried to do it already putting it in situ. I thought it was tight enough, and it obviously wasn't. It was just leaking from there. I think I need to kind of take the fuel filter right out, move it so I can get some real adjustables on, you know, where I need to, and just do them up how you need to stop it leaking. And I think hopefully that will rectify the small little fuel leak issue that I'm getting. And other than that, just get that wide source better on the for the lights, on the lights. And then, yeah, it can be out and about in it. But I'm happy with that, you know, got the gauge kind of in as such, lines on. So I'm just going to call it quits. It's just a little small update. But you probably, the guys that are here for the Supra, you appreciate looking at this. You can never look at that enough, can you? It's just gorgeous. And I can't wait to go out in it, and I will be. So I'll get you some drive out. Right, so as a bit of a continuation video from, I suppose, or an extension from the video that you're already watching anyway, I am up the barn at a later date because I didn't have much time to get that finished. I'm here in the mini Piccadilly, looking glorious in the sun. That gold colour is amazing, which is exclusive to the Piccadilly limited edition, and they are super rare. And I've just put Bilstein B6 front shocks on that as well, actually. And Supra's here. I have actually driven it since the gauge installation, although I have no idea why I've done it. Honestly, over that week of when I was shooting that, I've had a lot going on. I'm okay, don't worry, all is well. In fact, really well, which is good. I've had a lot going on, and my brain has not been working properly. I don't know why, I have no idea why. I'm going to flip this round. But obviously, if you're not stupid as such, well, like me, unlike me, I really hope you haven't switched off. And for that reason, I do not know why, but obviously I tapped into this side of the turbo. Of motherfucking course, that isn't the right way to do it. That is basically positive side only. It is not going to read a vacuum. Alex, you are a dumbass. I don't know why I did this, but obviously I need to go to the vacuum side, so over here. So I need to come off the plenum somewhere. So I've got to find somewhere. I'm going to basically use the T over this side somewhere from a vac line over here rather than positive pressure side. I don't know why I've done that, but apologies, guys. But I've since driven this car. One thing I have noticed since I've done put the pump and everything back in, I had an issue with the delivery feed, and what it's done is I've had to cut off a bit of the delivery feed in terms of its size. So now the feed of the main pump sits a lot higher, and what I've noticed is the moment I'm even anywhere near a quarter of a tank, because this car is so powerful, it just basically sloshes the fuel in the back of the tank, and it cuts, and then the ECU doesn't like it. It's really clever, it's brilliant. Syvecs is awesome, it saves the car, and it makes sure that it doesn't run continue to run that power in that. So what I've noticed is I basically need to extend that back to how it was. So the feed and the filter sock is right down the very bottom of the tank, because it keeps on not liking when I go out and I'm on anywhere around the quarter, even if I'm a little bit over a quarter, hard acceleration, it just does not like it from probably this much of a disc extension, I suppose, or taking off that amount, which is enough really when you think about it, because the tank is quite flat. Anyway, I digress. Let's go on to some of the other things I'm quickly doing today. Now I've got this exciting device which I'm going to talk to you about, from J-Spec Performance in America, class. I think I may have mentioned them a little bit in some stories, and then I've just got this Pureberg carbon filter. Basically it's activated carbon foam. Really good value for the price for what you get and the amount you get. I've got a few ideas of things I'm going to do. I have been having, not issues, but the moment I've put these Powerhouse Racing big beautiful billet rocker covers on, they have no baffles in them. So even though they're really good for crankcase ventilation or crankcase vacation of air, they're designed for big power cars. The ports are massive, there's no restriction in there. Best for flow and crankcase ventilation. Loads of people overlook crankcase ventilation. I went over the top. The problem is now it just basically
doesn't have any baffling in there whatsoever, so it just basically shunts out of there. And even though I've made this a kind of Cosworth clever design where it goes down from over the sump down into this little mini extra huge big catch can underneath, huge lines then into this and one exit here, you basically just, there's no restriction still, and it just ends up finding not loads but enough. Like, I don't like ventilation out here and oil carryover, so it's going to, this is normal. This is a big power car, built really well. I've got no issues with it, but I'm contemplating changing the way I do the system. Now, first and foremost, I'm going to try with stuffing this with activated carbon. It's not going to backfeed to anywhere, so I'm not worried about it doing any damage or doing anything stupid. However, I am thinking about blanking off where I had down there the feed to this, and taking all of those massive lines this size out, because that's probably added probably 10 kg of unnecessary weight of what I reduced in this front wear, and I don't like that. So I'm thinking of probably getting rid of it, and trying to baffle up a lot more inside here to, it shouldn't restrict it that much, but at least allow absorption. But I find that even with that big Cosworth based race type system, it just doesn't work with no baffling. It's either that, or I think about venting into the exhaust, which I don't like, because you get that horrible, you know, oily look, and then you don't know whether something's going wrong in the engine. So I think I probably will think against that, but I know people do that. And in America, obviously, where it doesn't matter about emissions and all kinds of weird and wonderful things going into the atmosphere for some reason, in the UK we can't do it. You can't just vent basically have a tube that goes from like your either direct from there, V'd in from two, and then just a feed going down the back of the car, and then literally a filter that chucks it out into the atmosphere at the back of the car. Probably you're not allowed to do that in Europe and UK, so I think we can't do that. So I'm thinking baffling and changing. That's the door just going in the wind on the Mini. I'm thinking of just making more baffling for it, and both in the top. I'm not sure about there because that's probably not going to like it, but maybe in here and seeing if that works better. But just getting rid of this weight, and I'm now thinking minutely unnecessary in the sense of it just doesn't work that well. Anyway, enough of that. That's one other job. Let's look at the Jamo clamp. I'll tell you all about that. The reason why I'm going to be using this, basically the Jamo clamp is basically a fast release Wiggins clamp. Now Wiggins are a very good company that are the only company that seems to do these things. Basically it's almost like a V-band clamp that, you know, you can have on things like this, the turbocharged system down here, as a quick release system. Now this, as standard, this Porsche 90mm throttle body that goes onto my beautiful Hypertune intake, it has a real small tiny little lip on it, designed for a different thing. Although this is grabbed and never fallen off, I still don't like the idea of it. There's a lot of weight and tension and vibration, acceleration and stuff. Like I say, I haven't had a problem with this normal standard clamp and it being on there. It is literally past there, not much past there. I don't like the idea of it. So I'm thinking of, I wanted to think about doing like a Wiggins clamp, so it'd just be quick off, and then if I needed to take stuff off this system, I'd do it. Now this is as time of video, unreleased. This is a JVK635 to be exact. 3.5, I think the last bit signifies, I suspect, I might be wrong, 3.5 inch. The inlet side here is, I think here it goes to about 90mm, but here on the lip it's 3.5 inch. So you need to make sure that you get whatever flange you have as standard. You want to go for the same flow and the same size clamp as required for that. And then obviously what you need to do is you need to weld onto here the new Jamo flange, which I'll show you. Because Gianni is quite busy at the moment, this may be a few months before we get this on. I can't weld to save my life, but this is, look, I mean, I love this, first and foremost, this quality of even the boxing. It's just beautiful. There's a list of parts, but let's get the part out first. Oh, look at this. Nice, but this is a work of art. Look at this. Look at the transition. Look at the look at that. So basically that is, like I say, it's a V-band, a quick release V-band clamp. And literally what you do is you got it there. You can see that, it just pulls up. See if I can do it. I don't know whether I can do it one-handed. No. So it has a little lock. So that's what the Allen key is for. So you can unlock that. Let's have a look. Yes, there's even some spare screws in there as well, which is amazing. Like I say, I've got this and I'll undo it now. Honestly, I can't get over how beautiful this clamp is. It's just, imagine that just on there. That is going to look almost like I say, even though it's just a clamp showpiece, it's I mean, look at, I mean, this, I know we've got a funny sun, but this, when it's shined up and it's outside there, you guys know already, if you have been following the channel, how beautiful, I mean, a 2JZ and a Supra engine bay is full stop, but my engine bay is gorgeous. You know, it's not immaculate, but it's beautiful, and, you know, with extra work, it's going to be even nicer. But look, this part here, look at these ugly, I say, once we paint this all up as well, but look at these are ugly, you know, and look, they're not going to take big pressure, and they're not going to take abuse like this. Look at this, it's going to basically go there. Oh, imagine, look, how nice is that? I can't wait to get this on, but let me show you. Look, ready? Right, you ready? So this is the little clasp, and it just comes apart like that. Pull apart, quick release, and then you'll be able to get rid of, you'll be able to move your whatever it is, bit of pipe work on. And that's what it's purposely for. So you need to, there's basically a flange on here that needs to be welded onto your bit of metal. But look at that, quick release, click, quick release, click. How beautiful is that? Quick release, click, quick release. Quality is just stunning. Let's just quickly pull it apart for you. So that pulls apart, and that's how it looks like when it's apart. That's the seal, and these are the flanges. How nice is that? Beautiful. Yeah, we'll get that one for you in the next coming weeks. So yeah, JMO do and have done performance parts for cars in the form of exhaust systems, and they still do. They've obviously been shown at SEMA show, and yeah, here are some of the little parts they do. But like I say, they're new to the UK, but not new to America. But I've seen firsthand the quality of what they do. Like I say, these little merge collectors and stack pipes, donut rings, velocity stacks, clamps. Like I say, from anything from, they're mainly stainless steel products, but they do aluminium also, and yeah, absolutely stunning. I've seen firsthand how quality these parts are. So just, I suppose you can only take it from me, but you can probably see, hopefully the video does it justice, of how beautiful and amazing that part is, to be fair. But yeah, I'm going to get on with some jobs and update you how we get on. So yes, I'm going to get on with that. The JMO clamp's going to be on in the next coming weeks. I'm going to decide what I'm going to do with the catch can system, and then I'm going to finally get the leak sorted on the fuel filter down low. This has been pretty much only a update video, so I don't want to say I apologise, but I just wanted to give you an update because I haven't given you many videos full stop in the sense of a long form video, so I thought I'd update you. So loads of things are happening to Supra. It's still early in the season of this new season in the UK for shows and events and stuff. So I've got a good couple of weeks, or at least a week or so, before things come thick and fast. No rush. At the end of the day, I find this quite fun, so it's quite nice. I'm going to get the car out very, very soon, so I'll try and get you some really cool videos, some racing videos, and me kind of just driving it a lot more as well. And if you don't follow us on Instagram and TikTok, just make sure you do. Instagram, on my stories, I kind of give a lot of updates as to what I do. Anyway, guys, hope you've enjoyed the video. As always, like, share, comment, subscribe. See you again in the next one. Bye for now.